The pursuit to a three-peat continues. Like all champions, the work continues for the Bulldogs to stay on top of the Mountain West as they bid farewell to some of their best players in school history. Joining us on Campus Insiders, the man who has led Fresno State to back-to-back conference titles, head coach Tim DeRuyter. And first, let's talk about your former quarterback in Derek Carr. Here's a young man who is outspoken about his faith, pretty clean-cut image, now playing for the Raiders. How do you think Derek's going to fit in Oakland?
I think he's going to do great. When we had him here, I knew he had something special about him. He's the kind of guy that if you own a franchise, if you're the coach of a team, you want him as the face of the organization. He does everything right. He's got the tool set to be very, very successful, and I have no doubt he'll have great success up in Oakland.
Also taken in the draft, receiver Davante Adams, who was picked up by the Packers in the second round. How did playing in your system with a pro-caliber quarterback like Derek prepare him for the next level, catching passes from now Aaron Rodgers?
Well, Davante, just like Derek, has a lot of natural talent, a lot of ability. When you run a spread system, you get a chance to get one-on-ones, which we were able to feature Davante, and he took advantage of it. And especially having someone like Derek throw him the ball, it was a perfect recipe for both those guys to have tremendous success. And although we would have loved to have had Davante back for 2 more years, I'm sure that he's going to have tremendous success up in Green Bay.
And then you had another receiver, Isaiah Burrell, also signed a free agent contract with Denver as well. But let's get back to quarterback again for a minute. Brian Burrell, among the players competing for the job, he was the backup to Derek a year ago. Here's what he had to say after the spring game.
Well, it's a lot different. Last year I knew my role as a backup. I knew when I came in here that I had pretty much no chance of starting. So, I kind of accepted that as a backup. And this year it's been different. I had to step up, take a leadership role, and just work on getting better like I keep saying.
All right, so, Coach, how do you feel about Brian's progress and where you're at the quarterback position?
Well, I think, Brian made a lot of progress this spring. Anytime you have to replace someone like Derek, it's a pretty daunting task, not just for the athletic skill set, but just his leadership presence. We've still got ways to go with him to develop. We haven't named him the official starting quarterback. We're still going to have competition probably 2 weeks into fall camp. And Brian knows that, and the thing I love about him is he loves to compete. So we'll see how it goes going into camp.
Well, throughout your career, you've balanced football and being a family man as well. You have 2 children, including a daughter, Christina, who just finished her freshman year at Texas A&M. She's a part of the program there, working with recruits. Could you actually be recruiting against your own daughter?
I guess I hadn't thought of it that way, but I guess in an offhanded way. But she loves it at Texas A&M. We had a great time when I was on staff out there, and she really fell into that Aggie culture. The thing I'm most disappointed is that she's also working with the media. So apparently I haven't had that much of an influence on her. She's working with 12th Man Productions, and I tease about that. I'm disappointed with her. She's working in 12th Man Productions. She thinks she may want to go and do TV broadcasting.
But you do remind her blood is thicker than water, right?
Oh, all the time. All the time, especially when I have to write those checks out to Texas A&M.
I do have to ask you, from one father of a young daughter to another, would you have allowed her to date Johnny Manziel?
We have a standing rule. She doesn't date football players. So he actually lived down the hall from her at their apartment. And Johnny's a great kid. He's a normal 21-year-old kid who's gonna have a good time doing things. But I might have let her date him. And she might have had to sneak around me to do it.
All right, Coach, I think you speak for maybe a lot of dads out there. Well, we appreciate the time and enjoy the rest of your summer.
All right. Appreciate you having me on.
And the Bulldogs open up the season against USC. I'm Ray Crawford. For more on Fresno State and the rest of the Mountain West Conference, keep it here to CampusInsiders.com.